Talk about what to ask a recruiter when you're looking for that company to go to work for. And a lot of these things I had to think really hard about when I was new and looking for a company to go to work for. And I actually researched some of it online, watched some videos, read some message boards, and got a lot of good ideas. So I got a little cheat sheet, so please bear with me if you catch me looking down a lot so I won't forget anything. So the first question I always asked, and this was a big one for me, are you a forced dispatch company? And most companies are going to be forced dispatch. You're not going to be able to turn down a load. If they give you a load, you have to take it. So it doesn't matter where it's going. you're going to go there, like it or not. So if there are certain places you do not want to go, like for me, I was terrified to go to New York City as a new driver. You're going to want to know that. And if they are forced dispatch, some of them won't make you go to New York City. They know that there's a lot of drivers that just don't want to go. So ask them specifically, are you going to make me go to New York City? If I go to New York City, are you going to pay me extra? A lot of the times they'll pay you extra to go in there. Are you going to require me to go to Canada? So that means you're going to have a passport. Are they going to reimburse you for that passport? If you don't really like to go to California, which, I mean, I don't mind, but I know of a lot of drivers that hate California. Ask them if they go to California a lot. And you're going to want to know about their home time. How does home time work? Usually, most companies, you earn 1 day off for every 7 days that you're out. I know that is ridiculous. I know when I started driving, I'm like, wait a minute, this just ain't right. But unfortunately, that's how a lot of them work. So, how much notice do I need to give you if I need to be home for a specific date? You're going to want to know that. Is there a maximum number of days I can accumulate? Some of them will have a maximum number you can accumulate, then you'll start losing your days off if you don't take them. Believe it or not, you're going to want to ask, if I take too many days off, am I going to lose my truck? Because I never even thought of this one, and I think I read about it somewhere online, and I was asking a recruiter this one time, and they're like, yeah, if you're off for more than X number of days, you have to take all your stuff home with you, and then when you come back, we'll put you in a different truck, because they don't want that truck sitting there. Say you've earned 12 days off, they don't want that truck sitting there and not earning them any money for 12 days while you're off, enjoying your home time. They'll be like, oh yeah, sure, driver, you go take your 12 days off, but take your stuff with you. So if you're like me and you have a lot of stuff on your truck, you're not going to want to do that. Take all your stuff out of the truck, take it home, lug it back, put it in a new truck, organize all your stuff, and then get ready to go. When they told me that, I'm like, no thank you, next. So you're going to want to know, are they one of the few people that still have paper logs? Are they on e-logs? At orientation, are they going to make you take an agility test or any special training that you're going to want to know about? Do they feed you? And yes, some companies feed you a lot more than others. And the quality of the food varies greatly from company to company. Ask how much they pay for orientation and when will you get paid for orientation. Ask how much they pay for training while you're on the trainer's truck. If you're a female, ask if they have female trainers, which was important to me. I got lucky. I got a female trainer twice. The first company I went to work for did not work out, unfortunately. So I had to go straight to another company directly onto another trainer's truck. And both times I got lucky and got a female trainer. You may also want to ask, if you have allergies like I do you have non-smoking trainers? And I actually got laughed at over this question. The guy was really rude and he said, You know, if you have to ask that question, I think you're in the wrong business. Implying that every truck driver smokes. So, needless to say, I did not go to work for that company. As soon as he made that rude remark, I was on to the next company, talking to them on the phone. How long is training? And when you get off of the trainer's truck, are they going to expect you to team with somebody? Believe it or not, there are companies, even after you come off of the trainer's truck, and they're going to expect you to team with somebody. I think it's ridiculous, because if you're ready to get off the trainer's truck, that means you're ready to go solo, in my opinion. But they will throw you on a truck with another new driver and make you guys team with each other for a while before they let you get into a truck by yourself. Ask when you will get paid for orientation, when you'll be able to get your first advance. Orientation usually lasts about 4 days. You may have to sit there and wait on a trainer to come pick you up. You're going to need money. You're sitting there, you've been in orientation for 4 days, you haven't got paid yet. You're going to want to know when you can get your advance, or if they're going to go ahead and pay you for orientation as soon as it's over. When you'll get your first paycheck. Some of these companies run a week and a half to 2 weeks behind, so you're going to want to know that if you're going to be waiting for a while to get your first paycheck. Ask questions about the truck if that's important to you. How old are the trucks? What kind of transmission? Usually they're going to be a 10-speed manual. Some of them will be an automatic. Do they have APUs, which are awesome? I love my APU when I had one. Do they have inverters? If not, will they allow you to put an inverter in? Some companies won't let you put an inverter in, believe it or not. Ask if the truck has a refrigerator on it, that was important to me. That was awesome. Ask about the pet policy. Even if you don't plan on bringing a pet with you immediately, as soon as you get your own truck, you may change your mind after you've been out there a while and want a companion. So you want to know what their pet policy is. You're also going to want to ask about their rider policy. Do they offer direct deposit? What about 401k? What are their insurance options? If you're going to be pulling a reefer or a dry van, I started out in a reefer, so I know from firsthand experience, this is a good question to be asking. Do you do a lot of drop-in hooks, or do you do a lot of live loads and unloads? Because in a reefer, it may take you 4 or 5 hours to get loaded. I think the most I've sat waiting to get loaded is like 14 hours. So you're going to want to know that. That's a good question to be asking if you're pulling a reefer. Are they going to want you to unload your trailer? Or do they have a no-touch policy? If they're no-touch policy, they're going to be using lumpers. How do the lumpers get paid? Are they going to expect you to pay the lumper out of your pocket, send them the receipt and reimburse you? Or are they going to pay the lumper with a data check or an account? You'll want to know that. If you're going to be pulling a flatbed, this may not matter to you, but it was an important one. For me, what percentage of the loads can I expect to have to tarp? If they have assigned trucks or slip seat. Most big companies, over-the-road companies, you're going to have an assigned truck. The slip seat situation, what that means is you're going to be sharing a truck with other drivers, and that's usually going to be if you're on a more local dedicated account where you're home all the time, which you'd have to get pretty lucky to come in as a new driver and get on a dedicated account right off the bat, be home all the time, and then, you may have to deal with a slip seat situation. But it's something to think about. Do they require hazmat? And if so, are they going to reimburse you for your hazmat? I know as a company driver, pulling hazmat loads wasn't really worth it for me because they didn't pay enough to make it worth my while. And that's another question you need to ask. How much extra am I going to get paid to pull hazmat loads? You may not find it worth it either. I know that I got a level 1 inspection pulling a hazmat load, And I think it's because, you know, I was new and I did something stupid, and the DOT officer noticed I had some tape somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. So he pulled me in and he did a DOT level 1 on me as a new driver, which was terrifying. And I don't think I would have got level 1 if I hadn't had that hazmat load. Just something to think about. Are they a regional or an over-the-road company? Now this is an important one. It's going to affect your home time. If they're a regional company and you know you live in the southeast and they're a regional southeast company, you're probably going to get home a lot. If they're an over-the-road company, you're going to be all over the place. Who knows how often you're going to get home? You're going to want to know that. If they pay mileage, you're going to want to know that. If they pay on a sliding scale or a flat scale for mileage, you're going to want to ask that. How much do you get paid per mile on the flat fee? If it's a sliding scale, it's usually going to be between X number of miles. You're going to get paid a certain amount of money, and as the miles get shorter, usually the pay goes up. The shorter runs pay more per mile, the longer runs pay less per mile. The other way that you might get paid, which is my favorite, is percentage pay. How much is my pay going to be? How much of that percent of that pay am I going to get? Do you offer bonuses? What kind of bonuses do you offer? How often do you pay the bonuses, and how are they paid? Oh, and I forgot to tell you, if you're on mileage pay, ask what their average length of haul is and how many miles their drivers average per week. As a new driver, you're not going to be with that average group. You're going to be slightly below that average group because you're new, you're learning, you're going to be slower. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. Just as a reference point, ask them so you'll know what to expect, or at least have some idea what to expect. As far as length of haul, the reason why that is important, say you have a bunch of short loads and you're working for a reefer company. I've already told you, you could sit for hours waiting to get loaded or unloaded. And if you have a short run, that means you may pick up in the morning, drive for a few hundred miles. If you're lucky enough to get out of there in time to drive for a few hundred miles, you may end up at another dock that evening, sitting there unloading, and you haven't went very far. You're getting paid by the mile. You haven't gone very far that day. You've wasted half the day, well, maybe not half, but it sure felt like it, in a loading dock somewhere. You didn't earn a lot of money that day. Then the next day, you're going to spend that morning going to get reloaded. Drive down the road, have to go get unloaded, maybe reloaded again. You still haven't gone very far. You're getting paid by the mile. You're not making any money. You're spending a lot of time at the dock. So that's why I don't like short runs as a company driver, getting paid by the mile. Average length of haul is important. You got a long run, you're making miles, you're making money.